The Big Short.
Yeah.
Directed by Adam McKay, who is a famous butt buddy of Will Ferrell.
The same director of Step Brothers.
And Anchorman, and anything that's an improv-y Will Ferrell fest.
We hired a lot of improvisational actors, so they all kind of fit his style, and that's mainly how
This is the first film he ever made without Will Ferrell. Did you know that?
No.
Yep. Like Will Ferrell is like seriously his boy, and so I was really surprised to see him bring in all these A-list Oscar stars and stuff.
A really incredible cast.
Yeah, the cast was tight.
When I saw the trailer, I was like, I don't think I'm going to enjoy this movie very much. Then I went into it, and I had heard some mixed things about like, well, they make the finance talk really accessible, or well, actually, it's not as accessible as people have been saying. I found it perfectly understandable, and in fact, I think I knew all of this. I actually think I knew all of this.
Yeah, but maybe we're a little kind of more informed than the average.
I had to buy a home in 2009, and that did inform me about.
But I mean, I certainly didn't, and I didn't know all the subtle details of. They brought out a few details, but overall, they at several points through the film, they kind of break down and go into this. They have a celebrity of some kind explain. They step out of the film.
That was the most stylized stuff.
Yeah, and it was very stylized, and I thought it was almost completely unnecessary because the things that they were actually trying to communicate were fairly simple to understand.
But I think they were probably concerned that the common moviegoer wouldn't.
Sure.
That's right.
Wouldn't go. But at the same time, their audience is probably people like us.
Well, the whole movie had like kind of an edgy vibe to it.
Yeah, the little wink, like, oh, we're adapting this. They didn't actually find like these papers here.
Yeah,
this is for the movie.
I actually really liked that. I thought that was a really cool touch because it was. I think that the film knew that its audience might be smart enough to start to doubt lots of things that are in it because we all know that when you dramatize anything, you make stuff up.
I did kind of appreciate that.
And it was kind of cool to be like, look, we didn't actually do this in the lobby. This is just for the purposes of the film.
Yeah.
But this really did happen. Yeah.
I really enjoyed Ryan Gosling. I really did.
He was a great like anti-hero.
He brought me through the film. He was charming. He wasn't playing like a Ryan Gosling like character, which was nice.
But I really liked that Steve Carell wasn't stunt cast. Yeah. He actually just was Steve Carell showing up to do some work. Like it wasn't like that movie last year that came out. It wasn't like Foxcatcher where he had this like dramatic makeup transformation.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that they didn't ham fist shove a woman into the group. Like it was men, it was finance. The wife in the Steve Carell story was a little shoved in, maybe potentially for that reason.
Yeah.
To be like, oh no, there is a woman, and then like
who the hell are you?
the African American woman who was like the head of the company that he worked for. I was kind of like, all right, are these real characters or is it just because this is like such a sausage fest? But I was glad that we didn't get like some hard-ass woman on the team that didn't exist.
Look, I mean, this is a very male story. It's a story about male excess, and it's a story about major male failure. We're the top CEOs, and we're the most homeless.
I know we're all in love with Star Wars right now, but it would have been so easy for them to do a Star Wars thing where it's like, oh, Christian Bale needs an assistant. She's a female. Oh, this particular scene needs a woman to do something. Okay, so it's not everyone in the background.
You're advocating for no diversity.
Yeah.
She's a shill for the Oscars.
If you need somebody in the background, you don't have to stick a woman in there. That is no better than just sticking a chair in there.
Yeah.
So let's not act like that's feminism.
We watched Project Greenlight this past year, and there was like a diversity person that was like policing everything constantly with extras and stuff. And specifically, it was like there were a few African American actors who like
who were going to be playing caterers, who were going to have lines, and she said that she didn't want people of color in a service position in the film. So these actors got pulled and replaced with white actors. So they didn't get to have lines. Like she actually took a job from them.
Shitty.
Yeah.
I mean, but you definitely don't want them in stereotypical roles, but you...
As it so happens, race relationships are complicated. And I don't think we're going to solve it today.
Yeah, I don't really want to
in the Red Cow Review Lounge.
The banks defrauded the American people. Now we can kick them in the teeth.
Okay, here we go.